Hello.
Hello.
To all people of color.
Okay, come through.
Just kidding. This is Village Vibes Podcast.
It
I am
is,
Kayla.
and I am Britton, and my pronouns are he, him, his.
And my pronouns are she, hers.
You don't even know. Shame. This is what happens
Wait,
with straight
she,
people.
hers. What's the other one?
She, her, hers.
Her, hers. Oh, I put her and
Aren't
hers
you a
together.
teacher?
Of children.
I
of
Dios
babies.
mío, aren't you?
Anyway,
Okay.
so this week we are doing something exciting. We are coming to you live from Portland State University at the Pan-African Commons.
That is very true. That is very true. It is a very special episode, and I just want to thank Shanice Brittany Clark.
Yes.
Come through, sis. You came through with the legendary ask and said, "Hey, boo, do you want to stop on by the Pan-African Commons sometime?" And I said, "My God, yes."
And Britton said, how much?
Now cut the check. No, just kidding. I'm just playing, but I just want to say Wakanda forever. Come through.
Bitch.
Hesha.
Good
Ibobo.
Christ, that was right in my ears.
I
God.
just, out here doing the most. I'm just very feeling my roots, feeling root chakra, feeling, the solar plex chakra, feeling my third eye, feeling my heart chakra, feeling my navel to spine, pelvic floor engaged.
I'm
to
done.
do some
Can we move on?
Yes.
Okay.
So
So our layout's going to be a bit different. I mean, we're going to do our normal shit, but we're
Yes.
also, anybody who's in the Pan-African Commons at the time that we're recording, if they want to hop on the mic, they can. And we are going to be revolving our discussion around self-care today.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, and I think that should cover all kinds of discussions around the around POC community, around Black folks, and how that affects us today. We have some beautiful spirits in seats right next to us, and if y'all want to just drop some names real quick, feel free to do that. You ain't got no choice now, bro. Hey, waiting.
What's up, y'all? This is Shanice.
You turn it around.
Mhm.
Hey, this is the.
Again, this is Shanice Clark.
Okay. All right. So very excited to have beautiful people around us, beautiful support. Also, just want to make sure that you all know that we appreciate your support for the podcast. Remember to always tune in, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, all the things on social media. We have a lot of things coming up and in store. We're really grateful to be expanding the brand.
Yes.
Don't shade. You have to at least
not
pretend.
shading.
You have to
I'm
at
not
least
shading.
you have to at least sound like you're being
I didn't
busy.
even say anything. You
But
just
you
have
can
to call me out. Just nobody can see me. Just let me be.
You know what?
Don't
You're lucky I
say
didn't bring the
anything.
cameras. Anyway,
I am glad about that.
Because
I wasn't ready.
Because you're not ready. Those edges, honey. Oh yeah, get ready. There's
Meanwhile, Britton has on the Dollar Tree beanie,
go to hell.
the H&M hoodie,
Zara
and the Goodwill.
This is Forever 21, hater.
It's the same goddamn
So
thing.
is talking trash about each other self-care? Is that what this is?
No, that's Village Vibes Podcast.
Okay.
Hey.
So anyway, what an honor and a blessing. All blessings be bestowed.
Come through with the sermon.
Hesh.
Get the snakes.
Undulations. Oh. All right.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in and stay with us.
Yes. Okay.
She had the
And
countdown.
She did. She did the countdown. Miss Shanice got that thing. Thank you. Because I do a terrible job of the
Producer.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thing. She's been trying to teach me that for a long time. So I just
I
suck.
have, yeah.
So we're back.
We're back.
Still at the Pan-African Commons. They haven't kicked us out
Yes.
yet for being ignorant. And that's really wonderful. What a blessing. We have Bay of the Week. Do you want to start that off or should I start that off?
Yeah. I've been binge watching a lot of This Is Us. Actually, we watched the 2 seasons in like a week.
Okay.
So my Bay of the Week is Sterling K. Brown
Mm.
because I love him.
Who also appears in the Wakanda-filled Black Panther. But you
Yeah.
didn't know that because you didn't see it
I
yet.
haven't seen it, but his wife is in it, right? No,
Whose wife?
Sterling K. Brown,
In what?
Black Panther.
No, ma'am.
No,
No.
oh, for some reason I thought he had said something about it. Anyway, so I've
He
been
loves
down,
he loves the hell out of his wife. He honors that lady.
Yeah, I've been down a couple of This Is Us rabbit holes on YouTube. Like watching interviews and stuff.
Okay.
So anyway, and he's my favorite character by far. And I think there's something to be said about like him being adopted, and also when Kenny and I watch the show, obviously we're both adopted, so like we we watch that part of the show and we're like, damn, if only it could like actually be like that, but
like having
never.
Like what what most stood out about that whole, like, especially when you go back into the history and you see how he was brought up, and you see how he goes through that phase with his father and that phase of wanting to mix in with other people of color because he doesn't have any representation in his own family.
That's the thing. I love that part of the show, but I every time something like that pops up on that show, I'm like, that's so unrealistic for a family in the 70s. I'm sorry.
Doing push-ups in the karate
No,
school? Oh,
but parents being like that in tune with that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's great, it's beautiful, but that's not, to me, that's not realistic. Especially because that's not what I grew up with. I grew up with very white parents who were like, we don't see color. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I watch it on TV, I'm like, fuck you, that shit's not real. You know what I mean? I almost feel like duped. I'm like, this is sweet, it makes for great TV, but that, I don't buy it.
But that's the whole point. You end up leaving in tears after every goddamn episode.
Fucking episode,
like,
I'm blubbering like a baby.
Why am I depressed?
Yeah.
Why is my heart melting into my groin?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I start having dreams about shows that I binge watch. It's bad. But anyway, Sterling K. Brown.
Okay, Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah.
And also on that Wakanda field, Black Panther, he was excellent. Okay? I love him and his strong jaws. He's great.
Mm-hmm. He's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. He's got strong jaws.
And he's funny.
He is funny.
Yes.
And he's woke. And he loves his wife. He honors that Black woman. That was one of... Oh, I can't talk to you about it. God damn it.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. One of these days.
I will see it soon.
Okay. And that's
I got the Fandango gift card.
And that... You also got me a Fandango gift card, didn't you?
Oh.
Okay. Anywho, so my babe... Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was it.
My babe of the week goes to my fiance...
Hey.
David Duty Gavsievich, because he has put up with, and talk about self-care.
That man is a saint.
He is. He put up with my bullshit this week because when I tell you all of my triggers activated like a Voltron transformer, I don't know what the hell, like Wonder Powers Unite,
so
bitch.
Funny?
It was real.
The minute you got drunk, after I talked to you, I was like, oh, this is a different Britain. Triggered.
Self-care this week has been like
the liquors. Oh, sorry.
No. Sorry. You're distracting me.
But also the liquors.
Leave liquor out of it.
Okay,
Rum has nothing to do with this. No, rum has everything to do with this.
You're right.
I was triggered and like I've been a little afraid, to be honest. I've been afraid of the idea of marriage. I've been afraid of the idea of like giving away my freedom, my Aquarius freedom that I so desperately need.
Yeah.
You know, my creativity is going to be gone. And, you know, and he's very much like, where's the mortgage? Where's the house? And like, when are we having kids? And I'm just like, poof, poof. I'm like, I haven't paid college loans yet, my dude. Like, seriously, I have a negative balance in both of my bank accounts. Oh, my God. Like,
it's a lot. Really
I owe Ace Cash loans. I don't know where I'm going to like get a house from. Like, I'm like,
you owe JG Wentworth.
Listen. I literally like, and I've been trying to coach him on how to engage in my love language because I'm very emotional, and he's very logic. And he did a few things this week that really blew my shit up. Because you know
like pissed you off.
It pissed me off because I would say to him like, hey, I'm just feeling really sad today. I'm feeling really depressed today. I'm just really down. And he's the type of motherfucker who'll be like, it's okay. The grass is always green on the other side. Always look to the sky for positivity. And I'm just like, no, I just want you to just give me something to engage with. Like, and I was like, do you ever feel sad about anything? Do you ever like feel depressed, or who do you go to? And his response was, we all do. And I was like, I am not asking about everyone else. I'm asking about you. So, but the thing that I love about him is that we keep that communication open, and he just really like wants to understand and wants to be present for me. He's like, Britton, I don't know how else to say this, but like when you hurt, I hurt. When this motherfucker said that to me, when I tell you my panties melted off of my hips, like he's like,
all the
when
way
you're
wet.
sad, I'm sad. Like, and all I want to do is hold you. I just want to be there with you. And he's in Israel right now, and you know he's coming in April. I'm giving all the tea right now. Jeez. So
that's what we do.
It's just I just want to give him that credit, because when you have communication like that, when you have a support system like that, and when you allow for that person to love you, that's the issue that I've had a lot of the times, is that I don't know how to allow somebody to love me because I'm always on the defense.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I have abandonment issues, so I'm just like, When is it going away? When is he
Right.
going to like drop me? You know what I'm saying?
No, you are the person that puts up a wall and says, I'm just going to be a dick to you before you ever get the chance.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But shout out to Duty.
Shout
Great
out to
man.
Duty.
Beautiful.
Other triggers were people still can't fucking drive in goddamn Portland. I don't understand what it is.
Let a drop of rain hit the cement.
Listen, I mean, people are just out of their minds.
It's crazy.
I just can't. I got triggered by a driver. I got triggered by a rider because I drive Lyft. And so, I mean, I had this lady in the car who just couldn't speak up. I was like, use your voice. This bitch was like, to the left, to the left. I was like, do you mean into the pavement? I don't understand.
See,
like, what do you mean?
These are your. This is your. We'll get into the Tumblr quotes in a minute, but
Yes.
this is exactly what.
Oh, yeah, Tumblr quotes. I need
Yeah.
to do that first. I have a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
And then, secondly, the Bay of the Week goes to every woman, every man who acted their black asses off in Black Panther. Like, especially the men because they've already been given spank time in my quarters.
Making babies with your toilet.
Yes.
To Michael B. Jordan.
Listen, Michael B. Jordan, Chadwick Boseman's children are in my toilet. I'm not kidding.
Oh, no. Michael B. Jordan could get it every day, all day.
Woo!
He is so
Won't
beautiful.
he do it?
No.
But for real, I loved every woman in that. I love that every woman in that movie was not over sexualized. I love that they had a representation of community, of support for one another. You know what I'm saying? Listen, one of my favorite lines that had me passed out, and I know you haven't seen it, but when Michael B. Jordan pulled up into that throne and said, "Hey, auntie," I flipped all of my shit. I lost every piece of my soul and my mind. I guarantee you. I was just like, who gave this motherfucker this line? I am gagging. I mean, when I say I literally flipped over in my seat and died. There were so many moments that were like that.
Yeah.
But like to see women in power, women in tech, women who will completely whoop your ass, like throwing wigs. There was pay homage to the wig throwing. My God, the history of wig throwing. Aretha Franklin. Who else threw a wig? Sanaa Lathan. You know, and the D challenge. Just everybody throw off their wigs.
Oh,
Let's
I
all
forgot
do this
about
shit. Just pull it off. You know what I'm saying? So those are my bays of the week. That's what I got.
Those are good ones.
But
share some Tumblr quotes.
I do. I have some Tumblr quotes real quick. Oh, damn it. Pulling closer. Never mind. Forget that. All right. Give yourself credit for the days you've made it when you thought you couldn't.
Oh,
Boom.
that's uplifting.
Let that one come through. Let that sink in. My walk of shame is going back for a shopping cart after realizing I can't carry 23 items in my arms through the store. Boom.
How many times, though?
I can't tell you how many times I've done that.
Yeah.
Seriously. I was like, I'm just about to get a few items, you know?
Yeah.
Sit up in the pantry.
Or when you get the basket and it starts to pull on.
And it makes that imprint on your skin.
Yeah. And you look really
You walking
foolish.
lopsided. You got scoliosis all of a sudden. You got kyphosis. Bitch.
You're fucked up. Don't say that.
Oh, no shade. I am not kyphosis shaming. I am not scoliosis. No, I'm sorry.
No, you are. That's why I said don't say that. Just move
Whatever.
on.
I can say what.
Go to the next one.
Why can't I say I was not shaming?
I know.
Thank you. Thank you, Ev. Jeez. Kayla always trying to comfort me, make me feel bad for like what I'm doing. Okay, hold on, bear with me. Why is it doing this? I don't like this computer. Okay. So, here are some mental health tips for bad days. Get some sunlight. Work out. Have a warm drink. Sink into drink. Let's repeat that one. Have a warm drink, a hot toddy. Won't he do it? Headshot. Sink into your, I don't know what that is. Create something. The world needs more creators. Call someone invent. Watch some Vine compilations. Take a luxurious bath. Wear something comfortable. Color in a coloring book. Doodle. Scroll through some positive reminders on Tumblr or Pinterest. Porn. So,
That's your whole
listen,
Tumblr.
I don't know about the rest of y'all, but Tumblr is where it's at. You want more about the Tumblr? What you want to know about Tumblr? Tumblr is where, listen, the best porn is on Tumblr. Everything. Sorry, students, if this is supposed to be a G-rated podcast.
I don't think so.
But listen, I'm just here to tell you, that's where the best porn is.
That's what it is, huh?
You didn't know about this?
I don't think that people
Listen,
go to Tumblr.
one of these
for
days,
that,
I'm going to
though.
drop off my playlist around here. All the sites, all the actors, the best ones, the ones who can move their hips. The what? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Well, that's all I got for those Tumblr quotes. What we got next, Kaylin?
I thought you had the depressed signs of the
Oh,
depressed
I do have that one.
zodiac signs.
So that's why I wanted people to like shout out their signs. So I went on Tumblr and I found the depressed zodiac signs. Now, mine is Aquarius, and everybody will know this about me, but it says Aquarius will be very short with everyone, and they will randomly snap at loved ones for no apparent reason. If that's not me, then I don't know what is. I had I had somebody agree with me on that one. And what's your sign, Kaylinda?
Leo.
I'm sorry. Leo will have.
Excuse me. The hell you will. No, Leos are fine. But when you read that, read it.
Leo will have a pity party, maybe literally. They'll just throw a big party to cheer themselves up.
See, that's not me at all. Like,
It
leave me
depends
alone.
on your moon sign.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Who else is a Leo?
I'm not connected.
Sorry.
Why do you say sorry like that?
Just kidding. Because if you're not an Aquarius, you don't matter.
Oh my.
Sign shaming.
Such an Aquarius thing to say.
I'm so self-centered. Who else wants to hear their sign? Scorpio and Virgo. Okay. Scorpio will purposely immerse themselves in their negativity until it destroys them so that they can learn from the experience and return stronger. Come on. Did you need to jump and shout real quick? Did you need to raise hands real quick? Do I need to put on the dun dun? No. Virgo will convince themselves that their feelings are irrational and try not to think about it too much. No. Still no. Okay. Huh? Okay. So we got one. So your moon sign must be in tune with this one. Pisces, you said? Okay. Pisces. Pisces will sometimes go into a complete delusional state. Anyone who disagrees with them just doesn't understand. Really? Can I just also say Virgos and Scorpios are the freakiest zodiac signs? Especially Scorpios. Scorpios are the freakiest. They like it all the time. Every single month. Well, Virgos like it too. I think Virgos like the attention. I really do. That's been my experience.
Let's go back. Since when does anyone ever associate anything freaky with Virgos?
Well, we can't have a pause. We can't have a pause. You got to speak into the mic.
Yes.
Okay. It's okay. We'll edit that one out.
You should, but we should do that. You should find that on Tumblr, like the sex lives of zodiac signs.
I'll find that one, the sex lives as well. I have my own experiences
one.
with Scorpios and Virgos.
Yeah.
I'm usually very generally attracted to Scorpios and Virgos. I am. The ones that have penises. All right. So those are all of my Tumblr quotes.
Good stuff.
And now, what did we learn this week?
So the one thing that I've been thinking about, again, binge watching This Is Us, but also somebody who's very, very close to me who's adopted, found out a bunch of information, got connected with their biological family this week. So I've been talking to them a lot about kind of like their feelings about their original feelings about. They're 26 now, so talking about their feelings about adoption, how those feelings have kind of evolved, getting connected with a family that they're not familiar with, and the family lives in a place that they're not familiar with, and that's just been really interesting for me to think about my own adoption and how I feel about it versus how others feel about it, because Kenny's adopting. Kenny has a lot of feelings connected to his adoption that aren't always positive.
Kenny's your partner, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I have family members who are adopted who struggle with that. But for whatever reason, and I think about it a lot, and I'd like to think that because I'm a critical thinker, like I can really get in tune with those kinds of feelings, but I just have nothing related to my adoption. Like, I don't get the empty feeling. I don't feel like there's a hole. I don't have a sense of like curiosity
like you
about
missed
it.
out on anything,
right?
Or?
I just don't have any feelings connected to it, and I wonder sometimes if that's like based on how I was left or where I came from, or I don't know, because I mean, there's no way to like alleviate those feelings for folks who are adopted, right? Because most folks like will have perfectly happy lives and great parents, but will still have that feeling, rightfully so. I just wonder sometimes like if there's something that I'm stifling that I'm just like rejecting, or if it's truly that I just don't have, or if it's truly that I just don't feel anything related to it. But anyway, that's been on my mind a lot this week. That's
that's
the
so
thing.
interesting because I used to say that about like not ever knowing my father. So I mean, but I realized that a lot of my issues come from me not ever knowing my father. My abandonment issues. That was literally the moment I was born. You know what I'm saying? And and it manifests in different ways.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something that you can like also check is like how else could this be manifesting that need for that, you know?
And that's what I've thought a lot about. And I can't figure out any negative feelings that I have toward it. Which I think I always tell people that makes me a very unique person in this population of adopted folks, because I don't speak for the majority of experience for folks who are adopted. And yeah, I wish that I could say why or what it is or what the difference is. But it almost makes me feel bad, especially when I have conversations with Kenny about it, because he's like, really, you don't have any of these feelings? I'm like, no. And I don't want it to sound like it's because
But you
like,
don't have feelings
I
in
don't care.
general.
That's true.
So
Black.
I mean,
Soul is black. Thank you.
just kidding.
But seriously, it does make me feel a little guilty, like maybe I should have feelings attached to it in some way. So I've just been thinking a lot about that.
Have you ever
week.
thought about it in the sense of like, how would you respond if someone from your immediate family came to you and found you and wanted to spend time?
I've thought about that because I have biological siblings, but I have no interest in seeking them out. If they found me, I don't know. I think I just, in my mind, you know, like, I think like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. But it's not something that I want. You know what I mean? Or that I feel like I need.
I hear you.
That I would be like overly excited about.
I feel that maybe I totally recognize that, and I'm with you on that. I think about the fact my mother, you know, she's passed away now, and like she raised me. I grew up with a single mother.
Bless Hannah.
Bless her. She was amazing. Okay, only do it. I'm grateful. But you know, now that she's no longer present, I kind of do have a curiosity about, you know, knowing my origins from the other half. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard stories about me having brothers and sisters. Like I definitely want to reach out to my brothers and sisters. I probably ask my dad for my money. You know, I'd be like, but where's the check though, nigga? Like,
okay, that's fair.
We are behind and I'm broke.
I get it. You owe me.
You owe me everything, and you play football with me.
Okay.
So, but is that what? Did you learn anything else?
Yeah, but that was the big one on my mind this week.
Okay. Okay.
I know, kind of heavy.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. I don't think you've ever shared that with me before.
Yeah, because every time we talk about it, because I don't really feel like I have these negative emotions attached to it, I don't ever talk about that side.
But do you think that could also be because your adopted parents never brought that subject up with you?
No. My mom was always pushing.
Oh, she did? Oh, I never knew that. Okay, go Bonnie.
Because my sister had an open adoption, but obviously that wasn't a choice for me because mine was an international adoption, whereas Nicole's was a domestic.
Will you share with the students about your sister? Like, your origins, where you're from, where your sister's from?
Yeah. Well, I've talked about this. Oh, sorry.
You've not talked about it with the student.
Okay. Yeah. So, I was adopted from South Korea, Seoul, when I was 4 months. And then 2 years later, my mom was able to adopt a child from Kentucky, who's my sister. And we adopted her at 2 weeks.
She's also black.
Yes. She's black, Native American, and then a whole mix of whites. I don't know.
Will you share the experience of the both of you growing up with all white adopted parents, all white brothers, you being from Korea and your sister being black and from Kentucky?
It was bizarre. I mean, we got a lot of looks as a family because, my dad is like classic blue collar American white man, like mustache, plaid flannels all the way, work for a living, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Yeah, exactly. And they just never, I said earlier on this same episode that they would always say things like, we don't see color. Or they would never have conversations about our race. They would only have conversations about our birth families, like our biological families. So both of us went through pretty intense identity crises when we were in our adolescence. I mean, when we were teenagers, because we were both like, we don't really know who we are or how we're supposed to fit in because we're viewed one way, but we live a different life at home. So I went through a phase where I only had Asian friends. I only ate particular kinds of foods. I was in extracurriculars that were I deemed as Asian.
Your sister didn't know about edge control, right?
Okay, that's one thing. My mom had my sister's hair fucked up for the majority of her youth, and I feel so bad about that. At the time, I didn't know any better. Yeah. I was just like, I don't know, it's just the way my mom does her hair. Yeah, but
looking like a female buckwheat. Nope.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely true. She just didn't. My mom. And this is the thing about my parents. Bless them. I love them, of course. And they had the best of intentions. They just did not have the tools, I think, to be able to like connect us in any real way to our culture.
Right. But I think that
Yeah, but that was just never on my mom's radar.
But the curiosity was never there either.
Right. Because they didn't find that.
Bye, doctor.
Bye. They just didn't find that important, which is a shame because it really was. And that contributed to our identity crises when we were growing up. And my parents, unfortunately, just never recognized that that's what we were going through. They just thought, we were, I don't even know. But
they
anyway.
thought y'all were white.
Because
they didn't see color.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
But that was part of our identity crisis, was that we've identified with a very white American culture, but that's not how we were viewed by the rest of the world.
Right.
So we had to figure out how to balance those things and manage those feelings and come into our identities in ways that made sense to us, which was hard without any guidance.
Ish. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
United
thank you
Colors
for
of
sharing
Benetton
that.
family.
Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you for re-sharing that. With the PSU students and campus,
Yeah, for all the listeners out there.
All right, every two of the listeners that we have. Thank you, Jace. Thank you, Aaliyah.
I was waiting for you to say it. What'd you learn this week?
So first and foremost, I pulled up to the 7-Eleven this morning because I was like, I want my coffee. Because I hadn't had it and I didn't have any creamer at home. So I was like, well, let me just pop on over and get this $1.69 coffee. And then I looked over to the left and I saw the creamers. And so the creamer, they had a Reese's creamer. And you know I love a 4-pack, bitch. I love a 4-pack.
You love the king size.
I love a king size.
Yep.
I will always go up for the king size. So when I saw that I had to do a double take, I caught my pearls, clutched my neck and my sternum, and I said, there is a Reese's creamer out in this hoe. I am ready to receive. It was free.
Oh, it was the little one.
It's the little one. It's so amazing that I kept it in the pocket of my car.
Sure,
just for souvenir purposes. To look down and say, ha ha, I see you, Reese's.
Okay.
I see you.
You didn't steal like a few extra?
Nah, I should have, but I didn't.
I always do.
I just wanted it for a souvenir piece.
Sure.
I also learned that therapy is very necessary. I've seen a therapist before, but like I thought I could take some time off. Bye. Where are you going? Did we bore you? Okay. Leave a donation at the door, please. Thanks. No, just kidding. But I tapped into Talkspace. So you know what I find is really messed up is that one, we as people work ourselves to the bone every single damn day. We go through a routine every single damn day. This really fucks with me because I hate routine. And I feel like people would be so much happier and more productive if they were able to profit and benefit off of their gifts, the things that they enjoy doing. Some people need routine. I will recognize that. But I'm a person that likes to create. And I hate those mornings when I wake up and I'm just like, you can do this. You got this. I got to sit there and like motivate myself to get out the bed just to work out and do yoga practice, just to go and do massage or drive Lyft or work at the tattoo shop or do whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's such a routine and it's stealing all of my energy. To the point where I am loathing waking up in the morning sometimes.
I get like that.
Like,
I understand.
It's to the point where like I'm going to bed with so much on my mind, heart palpitations, and like I'm just seeking every single refuge that I can to find some peace and some balance so I can just sleep. My sleeping lately has been absolute trash basura. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Like 3 hours and 14 minutes is what my Fitbit told me today.
God
I said, you
damn,
lost your
bitch.
mechanical ass mind. I said, what you won't do is sit here and lie on this Bluetooth because I know that was 6 hours. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just really stressful. And like, I'm like, it's manifesting as triggering and anger and all of these things.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then I end up having a rum and coke before I go teach yoga class. What is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, bitch, you're really putting all your business out there today. Okay.
it was one. And
I'm not judging.
Thanks. But I gave a fire class, so whatever.
You know I be smoking them cigarettes before I go teach the children.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you. I wish you, huh? Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, see, I wish we could have got you some sound bites on here, but
For
you know, it's
real.
okay. Next time, I'm gonna just put a microphone set around here so none of y'all can say. I just won't tell y'all.
Shanice looked at me and said, "Don't make it a choice." And I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "Whoa!"
Tell that bitch. But yeah, like I there's something bothering me about the way that this world is operating, where I see people just always in the structure, always in the zone. And I'm just like, when are people going to chill? Like, when are people going to take a moment to breathe? This is the stuff that's causing cancer. This is the stuff that's causing diabetes. This is the stuff that's causing like early death. You know what I'm saying? There are kids today who are more stressed out than adults. I don't understand. Kids have to go to school. Like you just told me this week, you got to go through gun training.
Well, that's the big talk. There's no
Yeah, I
actual
know, but,
plan,
like-
but that's the big buzz right now.
You know what I'm saying? But like the fact that I'm hearing that children are wanting to commit suicide. Children are wanting to like
Listen,
kill
that
other
is-
children. It is baffling to me. I'm just like,
Yeah.
where do we lose sight of the babies? Like, goddamn, like it's just
But
everything.
but that's the thing is like the reason why kids are struggling so much now is because the people who are parenting them are our generation, right? And things are a lot harder for our generation than they were for generations previous. So
Right.
parents are struggling, which means that kids are struggling. And so I don't know, as a teacher, like when we see kids struggling, it always bothers me that nobody talks about how to support parents too. We don't ever talk about community outreach in that way. We always talk about how can we meet the kids where they are. That's important, yeah. But part of that is meeting the parents where they are too. And like offering them support and giving out my cell phone number if that means I have to. But when these 6-year-olds are coming to me and I'm like, you need a therapist? Like, that's a problem. So I agree. Therapy is for everybody.
Well, I mean,
Go
that
get
kind of
some.
broke my heart when we had that discussion where you were saying that like you also have to be a support for the parents along with their children. Like, I'm just like, because when I see you break down, like all hell breaks loose for me. I feel so terrible because I'm just like, I see what you're going through and I don't understand how you handle this every day. Like you deal with tough kids
I feel like
and
I'm
they
gonna have a
fucked
stroke
up
at
ass
the end of every
parents.
day.
Like
I'm
seriously.
going fucked up.
No, okay, I'm sorry.
I
I
know,
didn't mean
but
it that way.
no,
I'm just saying,
I know
like, but
exactly what
everybody
you're
has
saying. I
problems.
get it.
Like the fact, and that I'm sorry, you're not being paid enough.
Wha-
Like, none of the teachers are. No teachers are. But
Yeah.
like that's just the fact that there are parents who don't have a resource
Yeah.
or even think to put themselves in a place where they can be helped, you know, or that they need assistance because they're always the provider. You know what I'm saying? So therapy for me, I was like, you know what? If I can't, which comes back to my point. Things like therapy should not cost me $300 a month.
Amen.
Point motherfucking blank. I just don't understand.
Get
Like,
into it today.
I was doing Talkspace and I was thinking, oh, you know, it's gonna be cheaper, you know, and I don't have health insurance right now. Like I gotta wait,
Yeah.
because Mama just all of a sudden got a slew of expenses that she's got to pay for that I'm barely making. You know what I'm saying? And then like I tried to go find or seek an outlet for therapy, and even Talkspace was just like, if you want the premium service, that's gonna be $200 a
bitch.
month. And I was just
Good
like,
God.
all I want to do is make dinner tonight. Like I can't even afford that. Like
Yeah.
you know, and so I just don't understand why these the things that are necessary to keep us sane, to keep us healthy. Let's not go into the medical care system here, but like, I do not understand why I have to break my back just to take care of myself. It is stressful for me to take care of myself. My
that's
God.
what we're going to talk about self-care this week.
Rum.
Well, I can tell that you're in a better space, which is good.
I am, because you saw me 2 days ago.
I did.
I'm so sorry I was so mean to you.
That's okay. I called it exactly when I saw it. Oh, this is projection.
Yeah.
Get out. Get out of my house. Take the cigarette and get out.
Yeah, so I mean, so that was the one thing I'm learning. I don't even know if it's a learn. It's just I'm always really happy at least to be aware of it, because that's another element. Some people have no clue. They're not aware. They don't know about it. They don't recognize these patterns, and they don't think that they are deserving of help. Mm-hmm. They don't think that
or they're embarrassed.
Or they're we have to unpack a whole bunch of stuff, because Black folks don't think that therapy is just like the work of the devil. Like, they don't want to they're like, if you don't go to church and pray to God, you know what I'm saying?
You ain't shit.
Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't need no therapy.
Yeah.
You get on them knees and you pray. Huh? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I got you.
That too.
Yeah.
That too.
But yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's also not a resource to us. We're not given the space to think that we can do that, because we're already too busy trying to figure out where dinner's coming from.
Right.
Yeah, it's about, you know what I'm saying?
That's another. I mean, a big major class issue is that medical care and therapy and mental health services cost a lot of money. That shit's not cheap. It's not free.
Yeah.
And if you want it, you better have a check to back it up.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying. So I'm seeing every day people are just working their ass off, not making anything what they should be making, to barely support themselves. And I'm just like, this is why I moved out of the country. Move. I'm gonna tell you
get out.
My mama told me very clear. She said, if you don't get out,
get out.
So I mean, I think that's all I got for. Oh, no, that's for later. Never mind.
Okay.
We're Gucci.
All right. Should we
right.
take a really quick break and then come back into self-care?
Let's take a quick break.
All right.
And come back through.
All right.
We're back.
We're back. And we are going to dive right into our self-care discussion.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so the first question I have for you, Brittane, is what does self-care look like for you?
I'll tell you what self-care looked like for me this week.
Yes. I would love to hear that.
One particular day before I had to dive into work, it was me sitting on my couch, propping my foot up on my little pillow that's on the floor. I had my beet juice that I had made, and I just looked out the window and cut off all the lights. I wanted no sound. I just wanted pure light to come into my house, because I needed that space and that time, because otherwise I was going to get fired from all my jobs.
Okay.
But self-care, seriously.
That's good.
I think it starts first with being aware and knowing that, and recognizing that, hey, something's going on. I need to do something about it. That is the first and foremost important aspect of self-care.
I love that.
Acknowledging that, hey, ding, ding, ding. I probably should pay attention to the signals that are going on. My sleeplessness, my lack of water intake.
Look at you. You're so smart. I would have never thought to make that a step in
Yeah,
self-care,
no,
is to actually
seriously.
recognize
'Cause
when you need self-care.
Yeah. Again, some people do not know what that looks like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's recognizing the patterns and noticing what's different in your routine, which I hate so much.
And you've got some very clear patterns, as we all do. I mean, we all do.
Was that shade?
A little.
Okay.
But it's mainly truth. But yeah.
You're lucky we're not recording this one. Punched you in the throat. So no, seriously, that's what self-care first means to me, is recognizing that. And I think self-care should also be able to be receptive to someone recognizing it within you as well, and not getting offended. I remember when I had a drunken tirade once with my mom and my former, my friend. And she was just like, I think you should see therapy. And I went off. Like,
you got defensive.
But then the next day I thought about it, and I said, she has a point. Let me check into this, see what happens. And that was also a time when it was given to me for free.
Oh, yeah. Got
Good
you.
therapy. So,
Yeah.
how about you?
I got a list. You ready?
I'm ready.
Smoking cigarettes. You know this. That's just like day to day, though. Hanging out with Kenny, watching TV or a favorite movie. Sometimes marijuana's help. And because of my job. Sleeping definitely, and eating favorite foods. Like if I'm depressed, the first thing I want to do is I'm trying to hit Taco Bell, I'm trying to hit Five Guys, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I start planning meals.
All the things that essentially lead to your death.
Exactly. You know what? I was looking at this list and I was like, good Lord, I need some new self-care habits.
You know?
But
Yeah, go ahead.
honestly, sitting on a couch and like watching a movie, like a movie that I really love, is helpful.
Cooking dinner has been a type of therapy for self-care for me this week.
That's
it
a good
really does
one.
something. I like chopping up things and putting things away in a bowl, putting that in the oven. It was actually, I appreciated that. I was like,
therapeutic
I'm
for
really,
you.
yeah, it's therapeutic. Doing laundry, yo. Like seriously, if I have a what's it called? Not the what's it? The what is it? I'm already forgetting the names. When it's a front loader. If it's a front loader washing machine, I will literally sit down and watch the clothes wash.
Oh, you like the
like it's mesmerizing.
some kind of like sensory input for you?
Yeah, it's just like the spinning stuff, and I'm just like, look at this shit getting clean. You better get that dirt tied. You hear me? Come through, Clorox. I told you.
Wow, that's
Like-
quite a thing. Okay. You know what?
I'm weird.
On the right day, cleaning is self-care for me too, but that's very rare.
I need more
But yeah.
cleaning, and not the kind of cleaning that you do when company comes over.
No, I'm not talking stuff and
Not the
things in the
one where you-
closet. Like deep cleaning, like
Everybody be
Clorox
like, your
wipes
house
out.
is so nice, and then they go into your bedroom.
Or let them look in a closet though.
Nothing but failures. Every failure you've had in life is in your bedroom.
So many L's.
All the L's I took this week is in my bedroom. My pillowcases, my pillows ain't got no pillowcases. Okay? It's rough.
This is might be more of a difficult one to answer, but how do you think you're?
Let's hear from students
Yes.
for the remainder.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And collaboration.
Would love. Do y'all want to chime in?
For self-care.
Yeah.
Is this thing recording?
The second that you get away from a mic. Yes.
Bubble baths, just unplug, like you were saying, like unplug, maybe go on a hike, nature, work out. I like cooking too. It's kind of my way of expressing my creativity.
Hold on now. What you be making though? And what's your number?
I mean, that's like fantastic. I just be, doing my thing. I just whatever comes to mind, like I'll just.
Oh, you're a creative. You're
Yeah. No man.
Nah, man, I don't know where that came from, but
Okay.
All good ones. All good ones. Do you want to share?
I just like to read books and hang out with my family. I don't know, something comforting about just chilling with them. I feel like they know who I am best, and I can always just be myself with them. And then, this sounds weird, but kind of talking to myself, like, it's kind of therapeutic, you know what I mean? Like, just sitting down and saying, okay, what's bothering you, and, like, my mom will walk in, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, I'm just talking to myself. It helps, but, yeah, those are my
I like that self-talking. That's a big thing too.
Yeah.
I think that's important to have a good relationship with yourself. Absolutely.
It's hard to take care of yourself if you don't care for yourself.
Hey,
Yeah.
come on. I want to give a shout out to my sister Courtney too, because she came over cooking for others. She came over to dinner last night, and we just had such a real ass talk. I was so grateful for that. She was amazing. So shout out to you, Courtney Bree.
Hey,
You're awesome. I love
Courtney.
you.
All right. I'm gonna ask another question. How do you feel like your identity impacts your ability to self-care? Whether that means a person of color, whether that means your gender identity, whether that means your sexuality, et cetera, and maybe how you feel that affects your ability to self-care.
like we're. I'll go
No, no, you start. You started. You started. You started. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like we were talking about earlier, like we're just always on the go, just constantly moving, and in survival mode. I gotta do this. I gotta do my homework. I gotta do this, and you're being pulled so many different ways that you almost forget about yourself. You lose yourself in that work, in your professional or your career,
Mm-hmm.
your school, whatever. Um, so it's hard to kind of take a minute and be like, oh wait a minute. I think I need some rest. I think I need, some downtime. I think I need some unplug from social media, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think just experiencing discrimination, microaggressions,
Mm.
all those things throughout the day. And they could be, little things or big things or whatever. And you have to choose. You have to kind of like choose if you want to like choose your battles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I really want to go off on this person that said this? So it's this constant. I don't know. This like living in like the fear of I don't know, just trying to belong,
Mm-hmm.
trying to exist. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So it's difficult sometimes.
Listen,
That trying to exist. Yeah.
which will bring me to this. I think the thing that we get that sour cream off your finger, Britton. I think the thing we have to realize, the thing I realize, especially with my yoga training, everything we do from the moment we wake up is a stress.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Just about.
Working out is stressful.
Amen.
No, I mean, but like,
I agree.
and we're in such an unbalanced state as people in general through like all the different types of endorphins and all the chemicals that are released in our bodies. We don't know what's what. I'm literally going from anxiety to excitement to sadness. Like the shit that's happening in our bodies is not healthy.
Well, and all
So
the shit that we put into our bodies unknowingly.
Add the things that we put into our bodies,
Uh-huh.
even the healthy
Yeah.
things we think are healthy.
Uh-huh. You
Listen,
really
I don't
have
trust
no
nothing
idea.
that I don't grow myself. For
Yeah.
point blank period. And I ain't grown nothing in my whole life. So, you know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say you ain't got
You
no
know?
plans.
I ain't
You
got
ain't
no,
got no
I ain't
plans?
got no yard. But everything that we do is a stress until we are able to come to a place. And the thing of it is as a black man as a person of color, as a man of color, as a black gay male of color. Period. Our bodies have been used as a resource, as a battery. Point blank. Period. Our whole existence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so you have to break all of those things down. When my mom came from the South, she raised me with yes ma'am, yes sir. I didn't stop calling people that until I got into college. And that's because historically, you go back, we had to call them yes ma'am, yes
Right.
sir, because we didn't want to be lynched. So we just actively have stressful genes and blood in our body, just like the Jews with the Holocaust. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They will never. You'll never forget about the Holocaust. It's in their blood. It's rooted in their blood. It's rooted in their art.
Well, if you look
It's
at
rooted in-
addiction statistics for
Yeah.
Native folks,
yeah.
indigenous
come on.
people,
Come on.
it's outrageous.
And the
because
stuff
those
that's
things
still
are
going on
generational.
in Native in
Absolutely.
in tribes
100%.
today.
Uh-huh.
The stuff that they have to deal with.
Uh-huh.
So we have to acknowledge that shit first.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then we have to get out of our own way to recognize this stuff to hopefully like gain some sense of peace.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Just to be able to live.
People-
What you just
it's
that
like-
last thing you said, to exist.
And
I mean, that's
existing
real.
is stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Existing is stressful also because we have to walk out every day. I don't know if I'm gonna get stopped by the police and how, and if I do, I have to create in my mind a scenario that says, how you gonna code switch so you don't get shot?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I see the look on people's faces every day that at my size, and then when I open my mouth, they relax.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's yeah, absolutely. You're the good kind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I have to deal with that stuff at work with people who don't even recognize. Oh, Portland, don't even get me started on passive aggressive as Portland. You know, we're
Yeah.
under the guise of liberal and progressive, but the truth is, honey,
That's not real.
let's look at the
But
zoning up
it's
in here. Let's look at the gentrification up in here.
Yeah.
I have to wake up every morning hoping that like I make enough money
Yeah.
to pay for rent. You know the struggle.
get- yeah.
I wasn't kidding when I was joking, talking about them loans and stuff earlier.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Just to do things that I wanted, just to take part in your wedding. I'm not blaming in your bachelorette party. the loans I had to take out for that
Yeah,
shit.
for me to partake in my own bachelorette party, I was like,
you know,
Kenny.
so it's so hard because
How do you maintain? Yeah. Do you
I-
do you feel like you're sorry?
yeah, go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead. No, I have to find some sense of some peace for myself,
Mhm.
something, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't have people to go to from my lineage, I don't have no connection with my
Right.
biological relatives.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't go to the stuff that they dealing with it pales in compare. It not pales, but like I can't even touch that.
Right.
They haven't even recognized that the food that they eat is shitty. You know what I'm saying? And they just live in that shit.
Right.
That's just every day.
Mhm.
That's why I tell people all the time, like, see the world, travel, ask questions, Google, try. You know what I'm saying?
Do better.
Talk to people. Seriously.
Yeah.
God comes in all kinds of forms. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, I don't even know where to begin that whole identity, self-care thing. That I have to recognize a whole bunch of other shit before I can.
I mean, that's a heavy question because it obviously very clearly impacts. It's multi-leveled and it's multifaceted, and there are so many ways that you can break that down and unpack it.
Hell yeah, that was a deep ass question.
Yeah. My bad?
Just call me a battery. We really living in the Matrix, baby.
Okay, Kiana, calm down.
Lawrence, thank you.
Sorry, Fishburne. My bad. Okay.
But he got out. He was the woke one. Ha.
Do y'all have
See that, everybody?
No. I hate you. You're so stupid. Do y'all have a self-care person? A person that you kind of have like maybe not delegated consciously, but subconsciously, that's the person that you go to when you want to vent, when you need somebody to kind of maybe lift you up, or when you just want a distraction, any of that. I don't know.
Actual person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have two really good friends that I vent to a lot. I'm in recovery, so
Hmm.
a lot of things that I don't know. It's just different for me
Hmm.
as a person of color, non-binary person.
Hmm.
In recovery, so there's a lot of identities that I grapple with. But yeah, I have two really good friends that I usually just vent to, and the world is just like
Crashing down.
crashing down.
Yeah.
Shoulders get heavy, so yeah.
Good.
But don't you find it, and this can be for everybody, don't you find that we always keep a little bit of ourselves hidden? There's a little piece of us that we don't really want to let the world know in on.
Of course.
I did that with my sister last night. I told her an absolute truth.
Mm-hmm. Do you find Courtney to be that person for you?
Because we were on the same wavelength last night. Like
Okay.
we feel
Yeah.
we are able to. She asked me a very deep, prodding question, and I was not hesitant. I let her know. Baby detail. I will not disclose that information.
Yeah.
My life will be ended.
Yeah.
But that's the part. Like that's what I really have even in therapy I have a difficulty grappling being truly honest. Like, because sometimes I'm like, if I said the things that I've really thought, I'd probably be put in jail. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We've had everybody has some kind of some difficult thoughts.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there are definitely some things I would never say out loud. Some of them I have said out loud.
You have
to you,
right?
Or to my partner, but that's about it. Another one. These are a little more light. These are a little less heavy. Music that you listen to when you're in self-care mode.
Mary J. Blige.
Okay. You listen to that in any mode, bitch.
That's true. I'm loving.
You watch videos of her dancing or not?
Oh my God! Listen.
Don't have him do the bop. Don't do it. Don't have him do the Mary bop.
Where's the song?
No.
I need a beat.
Bam, bam, bam. I'm not. No, no, no. The cake.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is why we need the video element.
Do y'all have any music that you listen to, or a particular artist or genre, whatever?
I like to listen to 90s R&B and hip hop.
That was the best time of music. Best time for music.
Mm.
90s,
Mm.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mine is smooth jazz.
Smooth jazz. 105.9.
Look
Yeah.
at you. No, for whatever reason, it makes me feel soothed and calm. But also, I've noticed. Obviously, this is a recent one, because I was not a stan for SZA until Control.
Oh,
But whenever
how could I ever forget?
I'm like in a funk in the morning, I blast that album, and I get to work, and I'm like, I can fucking do this. Let's go. But for whatever reason, like that, and I think it's also a little nostalgic because that's like the only album that I listened to over the summer. So like it brings me back to a time where I wasn't stressed and I wasn't, like not wanting to like sleep.
Great
all
having
day.
you. Thank you.
Thank you for stopping by and for sharing. We really appreciate it. But yeah, SZA. There you
I forgot
go.
about Solana. Absolutely.
How dare you?
Also,
How dare you?
Alina Braz has an amazing playlist right now on Spotify called Vibe With Me. My God, is that thing lit. All the way lit. Check it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last question.
I love Majid Jordan, by the way, as well. They also give me life. Majid, excuse me.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Your go-to self-care food. What do you like to eat when you're trying to, quote unquote, take care of yourself? Or what is your, like, it doesn't need to be obviously healthy. Most self-care food is not healthy. Let's be honest. But
Listen, I'm not a messy alcoholic, but alcohol.
oh, that wasn't the answer I was expecting, but okay. Yeah.
I mean, okay. That's my go-to. Yeah.
That's your go-to caloric intake. I got you. I understand that. But like solid foods, Britain. Like things you can chew.
I would always love soul food, but I love Thai food as well. Like, I just like to eat. Like, I had West African food the other day. It was so bomb diggity. I loved it.
You don't have like a go-to restaurant or
Buy and
like
buy.
a go-to meal?
Currently buy and buy for that Southwest bowl because it got
Southwest
collard
bowl.
greens and red beans and rice in it.
That bowl is
and that seasoned ass tofu.
That bowl is delicious. I will give you that.
That with the Long Island. Evil boy.
Oh, mine.
Had me shaking my head the way Monique did in Precious.
Don't.
Sorry, shout out to Monique.
We stand with you, Monique.
Listen, let me tell you how Monique be gathering people, though. She went on the Breakfast Club. I wanted to talk to you about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's also a self-care thing. I stay watching Funky Dineva. I listen to The Read. I love podcasts. How could I forget podcasts? Podcasts are freaking amazing. But Monique went on. I've been wanting to talk to you about this. Why doesn't... Okay, Monique first. I go crazy. She went on there and gathered Charlemagne so regally. Like, she was just royal about it. Like, and I feel for Monique because I can relate to her, but people are really shitting on her. And I wish they would really just... People need to listen.
Just
more.
shut up and listen.
Just listen. Stop talking so much. I'm not saying that I agree with the way she went about handling this. No one's going to quit Netflix. That's just a point blank period, especially when people can't afford no cable. DirecTV duped me into getting DirecTV, but whatever. But also, like, I know you watch The Breakfast Club.
I don't anymore.
Don't you feel like Angela Yee kind of takes a back seat? She doesn't really stand up for women the way I think she should.
So this
Am I
is
crazy?
this is why I stopped watching The Breakfast Club, because I felt like every time there was a discussion, like a question that they posed to the audience or whatever, that Charlemagne and DJ Envy would always shit on Angela Yee. And I was like, I'm really fucking sick of hearing all this, and I'm really sick of like their low-key misogyny.
Yeah,
I don't
it's not
appreciate
low-key.
that.
They're ignorant.
No,
First
you're
of all,
right.
No, I think
They
Charlemagne knows better. Envy's the one who I'm like, I just wish you would never talk
But
again.
Envy
'Cause
just
you
like
sound
agrees with
stupid.
whatever Charlemagne says, and that becomes annoying. And I'm like, y'all just gang up on her. You don't give her the time. If she has an opinion about fucking anything, they have to argue it, whether they agree with her opinion or not. And I understand that like it's a show and it's supposed to be entertaining, and maybe Charlemagne does that to be an entertainer because that's what he does. He's a fool. But at the same time, I'm like, I also don't want to listen to this. Whether you're doing it for entertainment value or not, I'm not a fan. I don't want to sit here and listen to y'all shit on her like for 2
And
hours.
she never speaks up.
She does.
Like women have come in there and bashed her ass hard.
But that's
K.
because every
Michelle,
time she does, they put her down or they say some bullshit to her. And so like obviously she's going to get to a space where like she's really not going to say much. And then the same thing happens during interviews. I haven't seen any interviews where she got shit on, which I believe you, but just in interviews, like she doesn't really say anything. They don't really give her the space to ask any of the
And the only
questions.
reason why I say this because I listen to her podcast and she speaks up so much, and I was like, you don't speak like this on the Breakfast Club.
But that's what I'm saying. That should be a third her space, and it's not.
Right.
Whereas, like podcast, she can probably say whatever she wants.
I went off the rails for that
I
one,
know.
but it just really it's been bothering me. I've been wanting to talk about Angela Yee for a minute. I was just like, why does she completely take a back seat and allow herself to be put in that space and embarrassed like that?
I don't think. Careful. I don't think it's that she allows herself to be.
And I'm sorry, you're right.
I mean,
You're
realistically, she could
why,
get a different
why
job.
do they put
but
her in that space? I'm sorry, you're right.
yeah,
I need to use my language differently. This is what happens when I stuff my face full of food.
you were concentrated. I understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do. Yeah, so I stopped watching The Breakfast Club for that reason.
That shit
and
they did to a
listening
model a negra. Did you see that?
No.
Okay.
Was it recent?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah. I don't remember when. There was a morning I was listening to it on my way to work, and I was like, I got really angry. I was like, you know what? Fuck this.
They were talking
I
about
turned it
colorism
off.
in the Latinx community.
Is that the? There's I saw some video of a person on a VH1 show.
Love and Hip Hop Miami.
Yes,
Yeah.
talking about her
This is who it was.
identity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why was it bad?
They just played a really ignorant card in not understanding how colorism exists within POC communities. They really acted like they didn't know that this existed. When we deal with it in our own as Black people, and then like for you to and they tried to flip it on her and make it seem like she sounded crazy for saying that she's experienced racism within her own community. It's just like if they were to say like, I don't understand how you have racism in your own gay community. You're all gay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like,
Oh God.
You really don't get it?
Stupid.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Stupid.
Anyway, that's beside the point. Self-care.
Self-care. But this has been a lovely discussion. Do you have anything else you want to add about self-care besides do it? Try your best. Take care of yourself. You are important. People love you. Love yourself.
Sometimes that shit don't be working.
What?
So I have a hard time because, again, Courtney helped me realize and make this connection is that, like, because I have abandonment issues and because I don't believe, I have a tendency not to believe that people truly care about me.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of my abandonment issues. Sometimes when people say they care, it just doesn't sink in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but you still sitting there self-loathing or feeling like uncomfortable in your own skin.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell everybody, just get a journal to start. I would just say, just write some shit. Just if that's something that works for you, I would always say, like, just write it down. Even if it's a brainstorm, it don't have to make no sense whatsoever. Just writing thoughts down and developing your own, like, skills for language and the way that you speak, just your own personal language. I think that's something, and talking to yourself, I really like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, asking yourself important questions,
Yeah.
Checking in with yourself. It's such a hard, because you can't just tell somebody to self-care. You know what I mean?
No.
That's the hard part.
And that whole discussion we had about identity and self-care and how much you have to break down why self-care is not a priority in POC communities. It is hard to say, well, just take care of yourself. But maybe know that you deserve and you are deserving of that space to do so. and that
Right.
taking care of yourself or taking that time doesn't make you lazy or lesser than or damaged or broken or anything like that. It's important that everybody tries to engage in
And
those
maybe that
practices.
starts with recognizing self-worth.
Yeah.
That's hard for people to do, right?
You can't do self-care if you don't care about yourself.
But then you have to say, how do I self-worth? How do I know? I still struggle with that shit. I'm like, am I worthy to be paid well? Am I worthy to be respected? Should I not overstep these boundaries or speak up my mind out of fear? That's the other thing.
Yep.
I struggle with that in the workplace all the time. Like, I am a hard worker, not only because I have to deal with historically what has been brought to me historically, but like I was trained as a dancer. So my mind is trained to listen and obey.
Yeah.
To do as I'm told. This is the choreography. This is what you do. People use me all the time.
Gotcha.
I struggle with that shit all the time. So it's all about conditioning. I don't know. I keep picking through this food, wanting more of it.
I know. Well, the overall the overarching message is that self-care is important and you are deserving
And
of
you
the
are
space
deserving.
to take care of
Absolutely.
yourself.
Absolutely.
Woo!
10,000%.
All right. So this has been a wonderful
phenomenal journey. Thank you all so much.
Yes. Thank you for joining us. Portland State, thank you. Shanice, big ups to you, my friend. We really appreciate the space to come here and to be able to do this and be in this creative space with art and people and food, you know?
I just am holding on to this chip. Thank you to the students as well for having us, really for hosting us. This is amazing.
Yes.
Okay. We do have some village thoughts that we will come to you with in a few.
Yes.
All right.
All right.